Hey casuals, Kai the Casual back with WrestleMania casual predictions and theories because I am finally back to making long form content. By the way, at time of watching this, it's Mania Day. Yes, I am putting out predictions late AF. And my apologies for that. It's been a very busy week. And I've also been working on some other content, making sure I finally get those Philly vlogs out to you. Part one should be uploaded by the time you see this video. But of course, you're not here to talk about that video. You're here to talk about this video, which is predictions. I'm wearing my WrestleMania 40 shirt. I got my predictions list right here. Let's look at the cards. Starting off with night one, we have, I believe they said this was the first match. I could be wrong. Uh, Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in our unsanctioned match. I'm gonna lock in Jacob Fatu. We already know that Drew McIntyre was going off to film the Highlander, so hey, all credit to Drew. I think I was one of those people that really thought he would walk into Mania with the belt. He did not. I feel kind of bad for him IRL for that. But Jacob, I think, could use, a good win. A big Mania title, not title win, but a big Mania win in a featured match at the beginning of the card would do him some good. And maybe we can get him into a more serious storyline after this and finally close the book on Drew. So I'm locking in Jacob Fatu to kick it off. Okay, next up on night one, we have a six-man tag team match featuring The Vision with the guest star of I Show Speed, who, I'm not going to lie, we've talked a lot about the celebrity involvement of this year. And besides his involvement with Logan Paul, I don't have a reason to dislike I Show Speed, keeping it a buck 50. Let me know in the comments if there's probably a reason why I probably shouldn't. But anyway, he is with the tag champs division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, against the Usos, the former champs, and LA Knight. Yeah. I think we're still at the beginning of the show. I'm gonna pick Good Guys Win for this and lock that in. Just because I think everybody loves to see Logan Paul get his butt beat, and I Show Speed the same thing. Everybody loves to see him get wrecked. But I do think it'll be fun. I think it'll be entertaining, and I really hope they have fun with this. Again, it's near the beginning of the show, so we can still use this to elevate the crowd up a bit. And yeah, it's not like the tag belts are on the line or anything. So, you know, champs don't have to, be protected here. I'm locking that in. Good guys win. Usos and LA Knight. Yeah. Next up, the women's fatal four-way tag match. Now, as of time of recording, which I mean, I have the advantage of having recorded this very late, but we do not know if Nikki Bella is cleared to participate in this match. Um, Tough luck, but just in case she is, I'll just say the match is taking place with the Bella Twins, the tag champs of the Invincible Forces, Nia Jax, and of Last Legend. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, no tag team name, I guess, yet. And the Allies of Convenience, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Um, Possible replacements for the Bellas are the Kabuki Warriors as of backstage reports. That's why we didn't get Io Sky versus Asuka. Um, I think we finish a story from last year, and we go ahead and give another win to the good guys of Bailey and Lyra. Um, and maybe we see the tension, maybe not the full breakup, but we see the tension blow over with Charlotte and Alexa. Um, I feel like there needs to be a few interesting story builds in this match to keep it interesting. But there's plenty of interest to go around with this. So, we have two teams that look like, ooh, are they really friends? And if the Kabuki Warriors are involved too, you kind of get that too of does this abusive friendships, relationship, whatever you want to call it, get dealt with there at Mania? Maybe Io stops Asuka from abusing Kyrie during a match, maybe preventing them from winning. If they take the place of the Bella Twins, we don't know yet. Um, but I will lock in Bailey and Lyra, and yeah, little redemption story. Okay, I know I have a bias towards good guys, but I want to take a gamble on this one because the more likely outcome is the bad guy winning. But in the Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, I'm taking AJ and locking it in. Don't at me. I know a lot of people on the internet will be like, well, AJ Lee has been pretty much a part timer, and you would think WWE wants titles on full time talent if they can help it. But I think there is a reason why AJ can retain. And I wish I had posted videos about this weeks ago so I could confirm my thoughts. I didn't just get this from other people on the internet. But I had the thought, hey, Paige is back training. I believe she did an indie show. She came out to her old WWE theme song, because indie shows, don't really, get the copyright laws involved too much. And I was thinking, what if Paige is ready to do, a Raw after Mania return like she did when she debuted against who? AJ Lee. And we just got word today, at time of recording, that Paige has, again, reliable sources, PWI, Pro Wrestling Insider, reported this. I think Sean Ross Sapp confirmed it as well, that Paige has re-signed with WWE. I'm bold enough to lock it in. With or without the certainty, I'm locking it in that AJ Lee retains the title. And in a match that we didn't know that we needed, we are getting Seth freaking Rollins versus the Ring General Gunther. I had to think about this one for a couple of reasons. One, Seth Rollins just came back from injury, legitimate injury this time. And we have Gunther, who's on this massive rise, retiring people left and right. And while I don't think he's retiring Seth Rollins, I do think that Seth is losing to Gunther, unfortunately. I can't all pick baby faces. I'm gonna lock in Gunther because I think all of this is leading to what does Gunther want from Paul Heyman in return for taking care of his Seth Rollins problem, or at least temporarily. And of course, there's been, rumors and reports that Brock Lesnar is retiring at SummerSlam in Minnesota. So I'm just going to keep this one simple and short and just say I think he wins based on that. Paul owes him a favor. And I'm going to lock that one in. All right, time for our title matches. We have, first off, Liv Morgan challenging La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, the woman who probably had the best main roster debut year from NXT in a long time, male or female. You can tell they love this woman. I have a little bit of, not animosity, but almost like secondhand jealousy that like Julia and Zaria, both independent women themselves, independent wrestlers, like, internationally traveled wrestlers. I'm stuttering over my speech. That have outside, hype from WWE, but they really, really pushed Stephanie Vaquer. And I've seen some great cases actually that Stephanie could retain at Mania. But if you look at all the history that Liv has at Mania, she has not won at WrestleMania, apparently, in the last 5 that she's appeared in. So I'm going Liv. There's the whole Trouble music video. There's the effort that both of these ladies have been putting into this feud. And I think we need to shake things up with that title anyway. Not that Stephanie has been boring, but we've only been putting her in a limited amount of feuds anyway. A lot of those matches were against Raquel Rodriguez. We got to witness that street fight in Philly, which is a great match. We almost thought Raquel Rodriguez would win the title that night, but it didn't happen. But I'm locking in Liv just because she, despite playing a bad guy, you can see the work ethic and the effort she's put in to this character, to her wrestling ability over the years. You know, she used to be somebody that people like me on the internet looked at like, I don't know, can she really go? And she has proven that she can go. So I am locking that in. And I'll be pretty happy to see it, honestly. I'm ready for a new Women's World Champion. And let's see what Stephanie does post-Mania. Let's get some interest back into her. Not that she's fallen off or anything like that, but I really think that she needs something else. And she can't be carried by a title anymore. So, but I'm locking that in. Liv Morgan, a new World Women's Champion. And to close night 1, we have QB1, Mr. Undesirable to Undeniable. Cody Rhodes facing the Viper, coming after number 15, Randy Orton. And then we go back to the criticism of Celebrity Mania. Oh, God. I'm not going to speak too much on that. I feel like there's already enough hate going on with that, you know, with the involvement of Jelly Roll and especially Pat McAfee, excuse me. Yeah. Now, to keep the pick simple and short, okay? Randy Orton. I have the t-shirt, okay? I love Cody Rhodes. Pretty much the main character of WWE, you know, the face of the company now, and the new John Cena. But the only way this dude is retaining is if the rumors are true and that Randy Orton is actually hurting or injured leading up to this Mania. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I have not verified any of those reports. I hope Randy is okay, because I certainly hope that he gets number 15. Like anybody who's been in the company for a long time, and yes, he's had numerous opportunities. He is one of the, you know, legacy characters of WWE, having, you know, real life, you know, generational involvement in this company. He's a 3rd generation superstar. But it's time for that title to get shaken up, and I think Orton is just the man to do it. Now, addressing the celebrity involvement, I don't think that Jelly and Pat should get involved. And I know exactly how to do that while still addressing their involvement. One, just have a simple, encouraging backstage moment with Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes, just wishing him good luck, right? And how do we keep it just between Cody and Randy? Easy. It's the Viper. Have him just come out with Randy Orton at the beginning of the match and have Randy just warm up on Pat and RKO him at the beginning of the match, because he don't need him just like he doesn't need Cody. That's night 1. Let's move on to night 2. Okay. So, no, I didn't switch to my Obafemi shirt. Whew. Even though you know I love that dude. You guys aren't gonna like me for this one. I'm just gonna keep it a buck 50 because sometimes as much as I love WWE, we all know that we are kind of having issues with the corporate levels of this company right now. And I'm not gonna lie, with the involvement of ESPN, maybe not involvement as far as like decisions are made, but the fact that this year, the first hour of night 1 and 2 are going to be free on ESPN2. I'm scared because we all want Obafemi, the ruler, to demolish Brock Lesnar. I am not. I am biased as all heck here. Don't get it twisted. I want Oba to win, but my confidence in WWE and TKO's decision making has doubts in my mind. So for the sake of me just trying to make picks, and I'm ashamed to say, I am sadly picking my brain versus my heart. I'm picking Brock Lesnar, Laser, to win against Obafemi. And you might be thinking, Mr. Casual Kai, what's the deal here? Right? I thought you were Mr. Pick the Baby Faces, and the truth is, I am. But sometimes my optimism is buried by cynicism, and sometimes I just don't trust WWE's decision making. I love them, and I love this business. I love WWE, but I love the wrestlers more than I do the company itself. So, all love to the company, but y'all have decision making issues right now. Right, but let me try to keep it casual. God, I hope Oba wins. Yeah, unfortunately, I am locking that one in. Okay, if we just need some sheer hype for Mania Night 2, we have a 6-pack challenge featuring Rusev, Dragon Lee, the champion Penta for the IC title, by the way. Didn't mention that. JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio's, Mr. 619 himself, and I saved my personal favorite for last, Javon Evans. Because that boy is bouncy, and I would love, love, love to see him win this match. But I think it's too soon to take it off Penta. And with him making the ballsy decision to defend his belt in a ladder match at Mania, I'm going to lock in Penta. Cero miedo. Just for sheer coolness of him putting out a challenge like that and winning. But if I have a backup pick, this is my official pick because, this is about, accuracy. And if anybody wants to pick against me, please, you're welcome to it in the comment section below. This video will hopefully be out before the actual show starts. But my backup pick would, of course, be Javon Evans. And how cool would it be for the 21-year-old newbie to win the title? Penta it is, though. Locking it in. Anyway, can you guess who I'm picking? All right, we need to very briefly address the controversy again. Some of the weird build to this Mania that Carmelo Hayes is not involved in this match. Maybe he gets involved somehow to still have a place on the show, but just to keep it simple and short. And again, I'm not going to talk about if the double turn should happen or not, with Sammy actually being the bad guy and Trick Williams being, instead of a flamboyant heel, a flamboyant babyface, which I've totally seen in real life. It is totally possible. People cheer Ric Flair. Why not cheer, Trick Williams? Hey, I want to see the new guys from NXT show up and just demolish any expectations, whether good or bad, I want to see them just exceed and excel that. What can I say? I does anybody want Sammy to go over? Let's just be real. So I'm not even gonna go into a deep explanation about this. New U.S. champion Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. Let's move on. My boy is back. The Demon King Finn Balor is back. Super, super stoked. Obviously, y'all know I'm a Finn Balor stan if you've been following this channel for any significant amount of time. I swear, if they have him lose at Mania again to Dominic Mysterio, like, there's no titles involved here. Now, one flaw, obviously, we know the Demon King got announced ahead of time. It would have been a nice mystery to say, hey, does Finn bring out the Demon King? Does he not? Whatever. It also would have been interesting to see the Demon King come out later. Like, maybe Dom doesn't give up after Mania and he's like, no, like, I want a rematch, la 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 la. Maybe he puts up the AAA belt for, to bring out Finn for me rematch or whatever. And that's where we see the Demon pop up. But that would probably require him to lose because I don't think they want to put the AAA belt on him. Anyway, I'm fantasy booking too much. Let's just keep it a $150 here and lock in the Demon King Finn Balor to win. Catch your breath. All right, now back to our world title matches on night 2. And again, weird builds to Mania. But I think on Aura alone, I think Jade and Rhea should be fine. Rhea is definitely going to be the ring general in this match, but don't get it twisted. I have no love lost towards Jade's wrestling ability. Or I might have used that phrase wrong. Not sure. Anyway, I'm not going to get distracted with that. I think Jade still has room to improve. Don't get it wrong. But I do think the hate towards Jade is misdirected. Now, it was a choice to put BFAB and Michin with her. And I don't hate that necessarily either. They just could have explained it better. Like, now, getting to my actual pick. And by the way, let me make my fandom for Rhea Bloody Ripley very clear before I say this, so don't crucify me in the comments, or do. Engagement is engagement. But I'm locking in Jade Cargill to win. And you might ask, Kai, why? Well, one, I like countering hate with some positivity. And all the Jade hate is just way overblown. I know we have thoughts about that whole social media incident, and from reports, apparently Jade was told to shoot as hard as she did, but she took it a slight tiny bit too far. And I'm sure backstage they addressed all of that. So anyway, but I really think Jade should retain for a couple of reasons. One, we still have Bianca Belair to get to, and I think she has finally gotten in ring to train. So I want to see that. I want to see that match happen. And I want to see it for the title. And number 2, while it would be nice to see that World Women's or WWE Women's title get a reset as well, just like the other title, and I would normally prefer, world champions, having a babyface on one show and a heel on another show. I don't want Jade to get the carpet pulled out from under her. Not to mention, how bad does that make her and Michin and BFAB look if you have this heel faction helping her out? And yes, Rhea has EO backing her up now, but I just don't want to see them lose any momentum that they can get out of this. Like, BFAB and Michin haven't had anything going on for them. So as imperfect as that union is, I want to protect that at whatever cost, even if it means mommy not winning at WrestleMania. Yes, guys, I love her too. I pop when that theme song drops too, but I'm locking in Jade Cargill to win. A storm is coming. Let's see. All right. I'm about to be Mr. Unpopular with these last couple of picks, more than likely. But I think there's a bit more intrigue to, let me just spoil it, to CM Punk retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. And you might be, once again, like, okay, that casual in your name is literal because you are a wrestling casual mark if you actually think CM Punk is retaining. And I gotta keep it real with you. I have my reasons. So let me list those instead of talking about that. And again, I like Roman Reigns. Don't get me twisted. And I wouldn't be 100% mad if he holds that title. But let's address the first elephant in the room, that Roman's a part-timer. And I think he's still, don't get me wrong, I think he still has a giant foot still in the biz. We've seen that love for WWE that he has. We've seen the love that WWE gives him and the WWE Universe gives him. And I think it's all earned. I think it's all. I was one of those guys that liked the big dog, Roman Reigns. When the Shield broke up, I was still behind Roman Reigns. I thought they did well enough to make him seem like the coolest guy in the group at first. And again, I wasn't like a huge, indie wrestler, stand for, Seth Rollins and Dean, back in those early days. I didn't know all that background history yet. So for me, I have a couple of reasons. One, it would just be so cool to not only see CM Punk main event another WrestleMania. So last year was a triple threat. This year, solo one-on-one feud, right? And it would be nice to see him not only accomplish that, but also win it and really just stake his claim. And he's been the flag bearer for this company, maybe a bit to his social detriment, but I think it's been well deserved that he's held that title twice since being back. And hey, yes, maybe some of this is a bit too scripted by WWE, but I really do think he cares about the fan. Yes, he's there to make money. Yes, he's there to portray a character, but I really do believe that he loves this business. Maybe not more than Roman, but I'm really convinced with the promos that have occurred that Punk, at least character-wise, is in the right. And Roman has his points where he's right too. I just think he's not as right. So narratively speaking, I'm more on the side of Punk than I am for Roman. So I have one more theory, and I feel like every year we wonder the question, hey, where is he on the shirt? Where does this guy come in? Since WrestleMania 40, ironically wearing this shirt, we've wondered, where does Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson get involved? Whether for better or for worse, does he get involved? I've had my own theory. I've kind of kept to my chest for the longest time, but I'm going to share it now. And again, there's been variations of this already shared on the internet about The Rock coming in and getting involved in the match. I have two theories about what happens here. Let's talk about The Rock theory first. One, because of the disrespect shown, even though there's been, I think, kind of two apologies, but especially from this final promo from Monday Night Raw, Punk did apologize to Roman's face. And he kind of half apologized when he said, right message, wrong messenger. But if Roman loses, How disappointing would that be to the family that the tribal chief couldn't get the job done against this squirrely old vet CM Punk? And so after a hard fought victory, Roman humbles himself, shakes Punk's hand, and when that happens, you hear the theme drop. And The Rock hits a huge rock bottom on CM Punk to close the show, and then turns to Roman Reigns and shakes his hand, brings him in for a hug, and does that signature moment and rock bottoms Roman Reigns to start the feud for WrestleMania 43. And I'm locking it in. CM Punk wins and The Rock retains. There's also the involvement of maybe Jey Uso finally turns, and yeah, maybe the Usos try to help, and maybe they help Roman win, maybe they help him lose, but maybe a turn happens anyway, and Jey finally loses it and says, "You ain't no tribal chief. I'm the tribal chief." That's my other theory. Who knows what's going to happen, though? I'm here for it all. But anyway, you know the drill, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell notification to keep up with all of this. I'm going to be posting a lot more frequently, especially shorts from interviews from local wrestling shows, and also highlighting some independent talent. I feel like WrestleMania is a great time to do that. We've been complaining about the prices so much. I've been promoting my local shows here in Delaware. Not my shows, local independent wrestling shows. Hazmat Pro Wrestling just opened up, and I've also partnered with a longer running company, 1CW. They are the best. Go check them out if you live in this area or if you're in the surrounding area. They are worthwhile shows to travel for. And also, we can help independent wrestling just be booming. Again, a lot of wrestlers start off on this. If we want them to get to WWE, if we want them to get to elsewhere, I won't mention other companies in a WWE video, we've got to support our indies. So support your indies, support your pro wrestlers. But that's all from me, guys. You know the drill, guys. I love you. Enjoy WrestleMania and pro wrestling. And for the love of it all, WrestleMania and pro wrestling, keep it casual.